it's not a metaphysical human, then it cannot achieve eudaimonia. If it cannot achieve eudaimonia, then it's incapable of being harmed. Therefore, I just wouldn't say there's anything wrong with abortion.
Do you think you can do wrong things to things that can't be harmed?
Yeah, you can.
So why isn't that true of a fetus? Like let's say it couldn't be harmed. Can you still do wrong things to things that can't be harmed?
Yeah, you can. Like, if we were to take like a fetus and like change the form of a fetus, or if we were to hinder the sensible form of a fetus, then yeah, that would be wrong. I just don't take it that death does that to a fetus.
Yeah, so how well okay, when I say wrong, I'm saying wrong index to the fetus itself. Not like outside, like extrinsic reasons. I'm talking about like intrinsically. Like can you do wrong things to things even if it's not harmful?
Already said yes. Like, if we were to like hinder the potential, or not the potential, if we were to hinder the sensible form of a fetus, that would be wrong. I just don't take it that death does this to a fetus, because like, if you're familiar with Neoplatonism, I would just hold that, and it would be under Neoplatonic virtue ethics.
Okay, I'm not seeing how that's like valid. That's a valid argument because you're saying a fetus can't be harmed, therefore abortion's okay, but you could still do wrong things to things that aren't harmed. So I don't really know how that goes, how that follows.
Okay, I said that yeah, you can do wrong things to things that cannot be harmed, but in the case of a fetus, there's nothing stipulated within the dianoetic form of a fetus to which where you cannot like, unalive it.
Okay, so are you saying you can do wrong things to things that even they're not harmed? Like it's not harmed, but you can still do wrong things to things even if they're not harmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm just wondering why isn't that true? A fetus is like before a
Well,
certain time.
yeah, it can be true. Like, if we were to take a fetus and change the sensible form of a fetus to disalign with the dianoetic form, okay, yeah, that would be like wrong. But like, I don't take it that death does this to a fetus.
Okay, so why? Okay, maybe I can ask this question. Do you think that the fetus, let's say at like 10 weeks, is the same fetus or the same thing at like 24 weeks? Do you think those are the same thing, or do you think they're different?
I would say that they're different, yeah.
Like in a morally relevant sense, or like a metaphysical sense?
Well, I'd just say that like the morals are based off metaphysical, but yeah, it can. Like, if the fetus at 24 weeks exhibit traits that are in alignment with innate a priori knowledge, then yeah, it would be like within a morally relevant sense.
No, well, okay. Are they? Well, let me ask you this: Are they? Is it a metaphysical difference? Are they like metaphysically different? Like they're not numerically identical, or are they numerically identical? From like the fetus at like T1, let's say like 10 weeks, to the fetus at like T2 at 24 weeks. Do you think those are the same numerically?
Yeah, I would say that they're not the same now.
Okay. Is it the same at like 19 weeks numerically as it is at 24 weeks?
I'd be more agnostic on that.
Why? Why are you agnostic
Like,
at 19 weeks but not 10?
yeah, because I haven't read like too many studies on like the traits of the fetus at the exhibit at 19 weeks.
What could possibly be different at 19 weeks that makes you say I'm agnostic, but at 10 weeks you're like, yeah, it's fine. Abortion's fine. What could possibly
Yeah,
be changed?
yeah, because at like 19 weeks, the fetus can like exhibit traits they deem valuable.
Yeah, but I don't really care about things that are valuable. I care about if it's the same thing, right? Like that's what I care about. I don't really care if you value it. I'm specifically. We can talk about the value stuff later, but I'm just asking like, is this thing the same over time, or did it become a new entity? Did a new entity come into existence? That's kind of what I
Yeah.
want to ask first.
Well, yeah, I can just say that within the case of 19 weeks, that the fetus can have a soul at that point. I just don't, I'll just say that's unlikely for like the 10 weeks.
Okay, and once it has a soul, it's numeric. It's not numerically the same.
Yeah, they're different metaphysically. Yeah.
Okay, so soul is the person.
So the soul, okay, so I hold like a dual aspect monist account of a human. So when we have a soul that's controlling the body, it's now one entity, and that's the human.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay, so it's not the person. The soul is not the person.
Not by itself, no.
Okay, so the soul. Wait, then that maybe that's confusing. That's confusing me because if it's not the person, um, if it okay, maybe do you have a view on personhood? Do you have a view on personhood?
Well, I'll just say like a person is a metaphysical human.
Wait, you're pro-life?
No, I'm not pro-life.
Why am I getting like three DMs and people in the chat saying you're pro-life?
I have no idea.
Why would they all be lying, bro?
I just don't know who these people are. I mean, I used to run pro-life, yeah, but I'm no longer pro-life.
Why not?
I just like found it too hard to like argue instead of like pro-choice.
I mean, it seems like that argument could just be applied at conception. That just seems weird that you have a soul at like 20 or like why like what grounds you having a soul like later? That seems so arbitrary to me. What is the thing? What's like the necessary condition that must be met for you to have a soul? Like what do you need to have that soul?
If you're asking like how do we find out you have a soul, is that what you're asking?
No, like what conditions? Wait, actually, first, do you reject Christianity?
Yeah, I don't hold to Christianity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So, what is a necessary condition that needs to be met for you to have a soul? Like, what condition?
Well, I'll just take it that a soul is going to be like a fragmented focus of nu. So like that would be it.
No, I'm not asking what a soul is. I'm saying what necessary conditions need to be met to. Well, actually, hang on. Do you reject Jesus?
Mhm.
Do you reject Jesus as
Yeah,
God?
I don't hold. Yeah,
Well, you have to, like, can you say it? Like, I reject Jesus as God.
yeah, I don't hold that Jesus is God.
Okay. I don't know. People kept telling me to ask you that. Okay. Um,
Okay.
I mean, if you are LARPing, that's crazy. Like, you shouldn't say that if you're actually Christian. But okay, yeah, like no, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking the like is like what's the necessary condition to be to or to have a soul? Like, what do you need to have? Like, what condition needs to be met to have a soul?
I just don't think like that applies. Like for you to have a soul, I mean, you can just say that okay, you have like innate a priori knowledge, and that's how you find out you have a soul, and that would be like necessary in virtue of having a soul.
You find out you have knowledge.
Yeah,
That's the necessary condition.
innate a priori knowledge specifically.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
So innate just means before you're born or inborn. A priori just means not derived from experience, and knowledge just means a justified true belief with the sensitivity clause.
A justified belief. How does a fetus have a justified belief?
Are you asking me how does like a yeah, sure. Fetus has or not like a fetus, but yeah, fetus in like the later stages has a justified true belief with a sensitivity clause because like in virtue of the type of entity the fetus is.
Okay, so you have that. Why later though? Why couldn't that be at like 14 weeks? That's the part that seems arbitrary to me. Like let's say that's true, but just what why not like it like the arbitrary part seems like it like couldn't this be at 14 weeks, 15 weeks? Like that's why these soul views always are like arbitrary. The ones that make sense are at conception or like implantation or something. That makes more sense, but these like 15-week, 24-week ones, they seem like what observably changes for there to now be a soul?
Yeah, I mean, we can just like know as well when they exhibit traits that are in alignment with innate a priori knowledge. So this would be just like an inductive inference. So we take like we observe fetuses within the womb and outside the womb. Okay, the ones that are outside the womb and they have innate a priori knowledge. Okay, since it's innate, they had it within the womb, and since they had like these movements or actions within the womb, they likely had it, or that's what we know, or
Do you
we
mean
find
like
out.
do you mean like subjective experience? Is that what you're talking about?
No, since it's a priori, this wouldn't be like experience.
Okay, so you can have this even if you don't have experiences.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be like from experience. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the arbitrary part. Like, okay, well, maybe if it was like, okay, like once they start exhibiting phenomenal like states and things like that, I can kind of see, but I might have some issues with that. But like that's less arbitrary. But I just don't see why it couldn't exist at 19 weeks or 17 weeks. Like it just seems totally kind of like I don't know. I don't know what's grounding this thing exist coming into existence.
Well, if you're saying that like it could be there at like yeah, it could be there at any time, right? Like my view doesn't like disregard that. Like if you're saying could within some
If
like
it
modal
could, well, hold on, hold
sense,
on, hold on. If it could be at any time, why wouldn't you hold it precautionary if this is valuable? If you don't know,
yeah,
it could be earlier, then why do you have a cutoff at like you said, like 20 something weeks? Why not have it
yeah,
earlier?
because some mere like metaphysical or even logical possibility doesn't bring me to some like synthetic fact or something to motivate me synthetically.
Okay, well, okay, let me just ask why at 12 weeks? Like, because you're confident at 12 weeks, it doesn't have this, right? It doesn't have a soul at 12 weeks.
Yeah,
Why?
sure, because I just wouldn't say that they have traits that like are in alignment with like entities that have a soul.
What are those traits?
Just like the ones that are exhibited by entities who have innate a priori knowledge.
Which are what? What are those
It's
traits?
nothing specific.
Like, I need like, because it's super, super vague. Like, I don't really like when people give these super vague views that no one understands. Like, what are the traits? Like, lay them out for me.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be like really anything specific. It would just be
And then it's
like the ones that
arbitrary. I don't know.
what do
Like,
you
what?
okay, what do you mean by arbitrary then?
Like, it's just saying, oh, once there's just traits, but you can't specify the traits. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this view is.
Yeah, because like the view just doesn't need like there being like specification, right? It just needs that there is this type of thing. It doesn't
Yeah.
need like exactly what
No,
though.
but that's important because if I don't know what those things are, I don't have any motivation to believe that a soul exists at like whenever you're saying it exists. Like, why couldn't it exist earlier? Like, I need kind of like markers to kind of help me understand when this would come into existence. And that's an interesting question. Do you think animals have souls? Do animals also have
No,
souls?
that would be impossible.
Why?
It's just impossible given the type of entities like animals are.
So animals do not have souls. Okay, but humans do.
Yeah, or it's an analytic entailment that humans have soul. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think most people would say that maybe animals have souls, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, I would need if you don't have those traits, I just don't have reason to accept this. This is just kind of like I don't know. Like if you can't name the traits, I don't know what I'm going to do with this view. Because you can't
Okay.
tell me when this happens and you can't tell me the traits. I'm just like I don't know. I don't know what to do with this.
Why is that my burden to name the exact specific traits?
Yeah, because anyone could say this about any view, and then we'd be like, okay, well, why should we accept that view? It's just motivation for the view. If you can't tell me, I just don't have any motivation for it, which is
Okay,
fine. You can just be part of the view.
anyone can say this about any view. I mean,
Hmm.
okay. I mean, it would just be under like their semantics or like what they mean. Like, sure.
Like they could say something like, okay, once they have sentience, then abortion's wrong. But they're like, well, sentience begins at like 4 weeks. It's like, well, why? Why does it begin at 4 weeks? And they can't. Well, I don't know. I can't tell you the markers. Well, why would I accept that it begins at 4 weeks? Why would I accept that? That's what you're doing. Like, why would I accept that?
Do you think
Like,
these are the same principles?
I'm not seeing a difference. Like if someone like usually people will say, okay, well, sentience begins once there's certain like markers or conditions that need to be met, which is like certain neurological brain activities, thalamocortical connections, things like that. That'll be like, okay, well, that's when sentience begins, and that's good evidence to believe. Now, people don't have to know exactly when sentience begins, but they can have like good reason to believe it's around this point, and they can name traits that develop around that time and say, okay, well, fetuses prior to this have absolutely none of these traits. So it's like, okay, well then I accept that. I actually do accept that. I think sentience begins. It doesn't begin with with most first trimester abortions. But like with your view, I don't know when this shit begins, bro. Like I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, like it wouldn't be at like a very specific time from which like it begins. So yeah,
Yeah, so I
it
don't
would
like.
just be like, yeah, it would just okay. So we take observations from entities that we know have souls, right? And then we
Mhm.
apply this to entities that okay, we're unsure of having souls currently. So if there's like an entity that used to be a fetus and we observe them doing these specific actions, especially like multiple entities that do these specific actions, right? And we take them outside the womb and we find out that they have innate a priori knowledge. Okay, it's now they have this knowledge while they're in the womb. So if there's an entity that has similar actions to this of the entities that we know have innate a priori knowledge, then given the inductive inference, they likely also have innate a priori knowledge. Does that make
Okay, what
sense?
sort of? Okay, what about a baby in a coma? What about that? Like, are they exhibiting those facts? Like, they're just like in a coma. Like, they're not moving around, they're not doing anything. They're just, like respirating, they're just breathing. What about them? Like, they're not experiencing, they don't have any, like, yeah, it's just, they're just in a coma. What about them?
Like within the case, are they stipulated that they have a soul or no?
No, I'm saying that's what's in dispute. Like, I don't know if
Okay.
they have a soul. How are you determining they have a soul? Or first
I
of all, let's
mean,
ask, do they have a soul? And then if they do, why?
yeah, they can have a soul. I mean, like if it's like an extreme case of like a coma, and probably they don't have a soul.
Wait, they
Or like,
can have a soul? So,
or
like,
it's the case that like their body is just extremely like limiting the soul.
so there could be a case where a newborn baby is born into a coma and they don't have a soul.
But before like they're born into the coma, do they have these like things that are stipulated that they have innate a priori knowledge or
You're gonna have to run by what that means, like for the audience, because I kind of forgot what that means. What does that mean again? A priori knowledge.
yeah, so a priori just means not derived from experience or it's derived from reasoning. And like knowledge, I just hold it just by true belief. And then I add something called the sensitivity clause to combat the Gettier problem or not to fall into the Gettier problem. It's the same thing that like Ernest Sosa uses in his epistemology. Okay, innate just means inborn or before you're born.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, sure. Like, let's say they don't have that, but they're born in a coma. They have like all the development of a newborn, but they just don't have that. Like, would they have a soul?
Yeah, if they don't have like traits within the womb of them like aligning with the innate prior knowledge, then like we just wouldn't know outside of the womb.
You just wouldn't know, so you'd be agnostic on that.
We would just say that they likely don't have it.
They likely don't have a soul. So would there be anything wrong with unaliving them since they don't have a soul? This newborn
Yeah,
baby.
I'll just say like given it not having a soul or like likely not having a soul given the inductive inference that like there wouldn't be anything wrong with that.
Yikes! I mean, that's pretty crazy. Oh, I already asked him that. Okay, yeah. What'd you say was? I don't. I think I asked you this, but I don't think you gave me a necessary condition. Like, do you have a necessary condition first of all? You said like the a priori knowledge stuff, right? Like, that's like a necessary condition.
Okay, we can just say like a necessary condition for like or like for a soul is just going to be like being derived from nous or something like higher within the high or higher within the hierarchy of reality, I mean.
Okay. So that is a that's your necessary condition. Do you have any other necessary conditions, or is that just one of them?
That would just be like the central thing that's relevant.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to do with his view. I mean, it just seems like it lacks a bit of explanation and then has like a crazy hill he died on with like the baby. But
But
um
wait, like it's just trivial that like if they have a soul, I don't take it that there's anything wrong with them being unalived. Like, yeah. Like if you want to give like an actual like, good reductio, it would be something like, can you grape it? Right? And then not just say no, given like the entity doing it is going to like hinder their own eudaimonia.
mhm. Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe I need to read more on metaphysics, but this just seems kind of a little incomplete because I don't know the markers that need to be met like observably. You're just saying like once these are met, but I don't need to I need to know what those are. Like similar with like the sentient stuff. Like, okay, well, why don't they have sentience at like 4 weeks versus 12? It's usually they'll point to like neurological development, thalamocortical connections, etc., stuff like that. But yeah, is there anything else you want to say before I move on to the next guest?
Not really, but I do take it that I won this. Uh,
I mean, I gotta like it's lacks explanatory power, and there's like a giant bullet you bit. But okay, if you that wins, then sure. If you think
you
that wins,
believe that it's a giant bullet, that's okay.
a baby in a coma, you can unalive it. That's fine.
Yeah, it would just be trivial under the view that if they don't have a soul, we can alive it.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we can just move on. Appreciate you coming up.